What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy SB. Welcome to another episode of SB Toys. First things first, if you're watching me on a desktop computer, laptop, or any other type of device that allows this option, you should see an icon there at the bottom of the video on the right hand side. You can click on that, be able to subscribe to the channel. If not, stay tuned to the end of the video. I have a button as well you can click on. You'll be able to subscribe to the channel. And once this video is over, check out some of the other videos on the channel. Being that, as you can see already, we're doing some Power Rangers showcasing today. You can check out some of the videos that I have on previous Power Ranger figures. Got the Megazords that I did a while back. So, definitely do that. But make sure you do it after the video. So anyway, you may be familiar with the new Power Ranger figures that just dropped. And of course, some of you who already may have had the figure arts version of these Power Rangers or looking to get the figure arts version, you probably saw the price is a little high. We're talking about 50, 60, 80 bucks, depending on which Ranger figure you get. So these Ranger figures have just came out. These are the BANDAI Legacy Collection. And they just released their first series of these. And what we're looking at right now, we're going to do a review on, is the Legacy Collection Green Ranger. As you can see right now, we have the package spinning around. And you can see on the back, they have the Build-A-Zord, which is a new thing they're doing. Pretty similar to the Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure wave. I believe DC Multiverse does it as well. But the two figures in this series that's from the Mighty Morphin line are the Green Ranger Tommy and then the Red Ranger Jason, which I've done a review on the Red Ranger already. So we're doing a review on the Green Ranger. Now, as you see, we got the package spinning. Enclosed package. Has little green lightning bolts to represent the Green Ranger. And on the back, you see the figures in the first series, Tommy and Jason. Then you have these other three Rangers, which I believe are from the Ninja Storm series. I'm not familiar with those Power Rangers, so I can't give you too much information on those. But anyway, we have them spinning around. As you see, Tommy is in the front there. And you see his little accessories and stuff and things like that. So anyway, what we're about to do is go ahead and take them out the box, get a look at them. As I mentioned, there's already been the figure arts version out there. So some of you that may be a little too expensive to get, and this may be a good alternative. So we'll see how that holds up. So we went ahead, pulled them out the box. Now, playing around with them a little bit. Now, if you haven't seen my Red Ranger review, pretty much my same initial reaction, just like this one. Joint's pretty smooth. Not too tight, not too loose. Now right here at the ankle, it's a little tight. Where he do his ankle pivot. There's his wrist and everything. Pretty nice size too. Now he does come with a very nice amount of accessories here. Number one, he comes with his Sword of Darkness. And that just stick right in his hand there, and he's good to go. Now the material, they use the soft rubber material, but it's pretty upright and straight, doesn't look too bent. But that could vary depending on which figure you get. That may not be the case figure to figure. So just keep that in mind in case you get a sword that may not be as straight and be a little flimsy looking. This is a soft rubber material. But it's nice and painted up pretty good. Nice paint application to it. He also comes with his famous Dragon Dagger. So that's good. Comes with the pouch as well. Which if you click him, if you turn to the side here, he has his little hole drilled in. You can just stick that right in there. And then you would be able to stick his dagger right inside. Good to go. Now, another thing he came with, which I assume these are for his Dragon Dagger. You can change out his hands. He has two interchangeable hands here. which those right there, you can put those, change those out. He has a more, I guess he has a more closed fist hand that he comes with, so these are a little more open. And his hands can be removed pretty easily. So you just pull them out and then just, well, can we get them on? Just snap those in, or attempt to snap those in a little easy. It's not all the way in there. So we'll try to put the other one back on, see if that snaps on pretty easy. That goes on. So we got the other arm on there. You probably need to have to work them in since they're not used to fitting on the pegs yet, since they're just been sitting by themselves. So you may have to take some time. I have to do that off camera. So just keep that in mind. But overall, it's a pretty nice size there. Nice range of accessories. Now, being that they're doing their Build the Megazord line, this one didn't come with any parts for it. Of course, if you're familiar with the show, Tommy, his own Megazord kind of operated on his own. Sometimes it would combine with the other Megazords. But he was pretty much a free agent when it came to the Megazords. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into some more details here. Let's sit them down, get a measurement. Let me get them upright so we can get an accurate measurement here. And Tommy here, he's sitting just a little over, just a little under, looks like just a little under 6 3/4 here. So he may be a little taller than the Red Ranger figure that I have as well from this Legacy Collection line. Anyway, pretty big size. If you have the Figure Arts version, if you've seen them side by side, those are a little smaller. This is a larger scale. So as I mentioned before, if you do have some Figure Arts Rangers and you caught yourself just getting some of these to add to that collection to try to complete, it won't match up. There's a big size difference, so it's going to look kind of awkward. So you won't be able to pull that off. So keep that in mind. But let's go ahead and get into some articulation points here. Let's start at the head. He does have his left. He can turn right, and you can spin him around. Exorcism style, as we always like to call it. Turn him to the side. Just tilt him. He's got a nice range of motion going forward. He's got a nice range going back as well. So that's good. Let's get down to his shoulder here. Shoulder swivel. Not too much range going up to the side. Doesn't go all the way up. He does have bicep rotation. Double jointed elbow. And let's see. He does have a little swivel here at the forearm. And he has this little ball jointed wrist swivel here on the peg. Get down to his midsection here. He's got a nice range here. Bending him forward on his ab crunch. Now, I was worried that his Green Ranger shield here, his gold shield, that was going to interfere with a little bit. But this is a nice little, down here, it's a nice little, not too soft, but it's not too hard of rubber material, that it does have a little bit of flexibility as far as posing him. But that's his range going forward. Going back, he has a lot of range as well. Now, let's get down to his legs. Leg ball hinge joint. Extend them out to the side. He's got a nice range of motion going sideways. We turn him over to the side. Going forward, you see he has nice range as well. Going back, not as much. Now, it looks like he has thigh swivel as well. But like the other one, that's a little tricky to pose and articulate. Let me go back up to the midsection here. The hip rotation. And it looks like that's limited as well. You can't do a full 360 turn. You can only go one side and then go to the other side. So that's in mind on the hip. Let's get back down to the leg. Double jointed knee. Has some swivel here. Rotation at the shin. Get to the ankle. We can tilt it up, tilt it down, ankle pivot. So nice range of articulation with these new Legacy Collection figures. Definitely nice range. Now, if you haven't seen the Red Ranger review already, I'm going to point out some things about it, about these figures here. Kind of a little, just a little minor things that kind of bother me a little bit. The sculpt, although it's a nice little build to him, it is kind of weird in some areas. I don't really notice it that much because he has his gold Green Ranger shield, but if you look over here to the side and where his shoulder is, he's got these weird sculpt accents that pop out a little bit. I'm not sure why they're there. Doesn't really serve anything to the figure, and cosmetically it just looks weird. Down here at his thigh as well, where he's supposed to have his thigh swivel, he has this little sculpting where it just pops out instead of just blends in with the rest of the sculpt of the leg. So that can look a little weird. This one is not as bad. Had a little bow-legged effect going. I just chalked it up to maybe it's been in the box so long, wants to airs out his legs, maybe the joints start shifting in place like they're supposed to. And the other thing I also pointed out, as far as the cosmetics, here at the wrist, it just hangs out on this ball peg here. Looks a little, cosmetically it doesn't look as appealing. Looks a little weird. But it's not too much to really be too upset over or gripe too much about. These are just key things I wanted to point out for you, for those that may be really picky about appearance and sculpt of the figure, things like that. Alright, so we're gonna spin around, let him get a 360, see him out the box loose, get you a little 3D 360 perspective there, see how he looks. Now, would I recommend this figure? As I mentioned before, if you already have the figure arts version of this Ranger and you do not care about the size of it being taller, then no, you don't need this Legacy Collection Green Ranger. Cosmetically, it's not as good. The figure arts one is better. Some will even argue that it's more realistic as far as sculpt and build. That could be up for debate. But it's definitely cosmetically better, and also has a lot of articulation as well. I'm not sure if it comes with interchangeable parts, like the hands and stuff, which I do want to point out. I did change out the hand before I ended up shooting this segment. So the hands can change. You do have to be a little careful, and it takes a little time to work that new hand on that peg, since it's not used to being mounted there. So that took a little bit of time. That could be a negative for somebody who may not want to deal with that type of hassle. But that's just something I wanted to point out. Now, if you don't have the figure arts Ranger and you're not looking to spend a large amount of money to have it, this could be a good alternative. I mean, even though it's cosmetically not as appealing, it's not to the point to where it totally makes the figure a turn off. It's a nice size, lots of articulation, which is a plus. Not too many Ranger figures out there in past history have been produced that has that range of articulation that's affordable. And you have nice weapons and accessories included with it, and the paint detail is pretty good. So if you don't have the figure arts Green Ranger and you want to get you a nice, very collectible figure from the Power Rangers line, I think yes, this is something that you would want to look into. A lot more affordable from the Bandai Legacy Collection. So those are just some key things I wanted to point out. Now, with that being said, be sure to like this video, comment on it, especially if you have the Figure Arts Green Ranger already. I definitely want to hear your opinions about how you think about this new Legacy version compared to the Figure Arts Ranger. Maybe you have this one as well. Just curious to see how this would hold up. So let me hear your feedback about that. For those of you that may have got this figure as well, comment as well. Let me know what you think. And if you know somebody that's looking into getting this figure, maybe wanted to get the Figure Arts version, but it was a little too steep in the price, so they now looking towards this one, share this video with them. Let them check it out, see what they think after the review. Make sure you hit the subscribe button right here so you can stay up to date with the channel, other videos I post. As I mentioned earlier, since this is a Power Rangers video, be sure at the end, go check out some of my other videos. I did showcase a while back some of my early videos when I first started the channel. Was on my custom Megazords. So check those out as well, especially for all you Power Ranger fans out there. So anyway, hope this review was helpful for you. As I said, the figure has some flaws to it, but it's still a nice alternative to look at too, especially if you don't have the Figure Arts version. So I'll just leave it at that and let you form the rest of your opinions on that. Like I said, leave me in the comment section. Let me know your opinions and things like that. Anyway, I'm out. Y'all be easy.